for those of you that may be looking. So I'm going to be pulling from a book right here. It's called The Seven Principles of Public Speaking. The Seven Principles of Public Speaking. So I don't know if Wayne's shaking his head. I don't know if he got that one or not. Okay, he's shaking his head. Okay, cool. So in this book, I'm gonna be referencing two books, by the way. All right, one of them is The Seven Principles of Public Speaking. The other one is How to Develop Self-Confidence and Influence People by Public Speaking. These are key because you have to understand there are different methods of selling. All right. When there's belly to belly, nose to nose. There are selling in front of groups of 5, 10, 100 people. There are individuals that stand on the stage and they sell to thousands of people at one time. These are the people that's in the communication space. These are some of these social media influencers that you see that they tell you that their best day in business was over $1 million in 1 hour. Why? It's because they sold their products to 20, 200 people for $500, $1,000 per pop. They sold 200 people at $500 a pop. You sitting there, you're thinking how a person can make $1 million. You could do it just like that by offering them your course, offering them a coaching program, offering them something else. All right, so there's a power in communication. So principle number one is the perception. There is a perception. Number one, it talks about it here that you want to stop trying to be a great public speaker. Stop trying to be. One of the things that you want to do on your journey of being an effective communicator is to be yourself. Be yourself. Now, that doesn't mean that you do not work on yourself. That does not mean that you do not read books, because there are certain audiences and certain places that you go into that when you come with the ABC lingo, they are not going to want to have you come back again. There are individuals like Wayne talked about. If you come in there using profane words, it shows that you have a limited vocabulary. So it's going to be a challenge for us to immerse ourselves into books. It's going to be a challenge for us to grab the dictionary. It's going to be a challenge for us to grab the dictionary and start to feed ourselves and start learning different words. Because every single word that you learn, it opens you up to maybe 4 or 5 more words. Every single word that you have in your repertoire, it makes you more of a valuable man. Not just standing up and doing public speeches, but in the world of sales, in your workforce, when it comes to negotiating a opportunity for a pay raise if you have a job. If it comes to talking to a client and asking that client for more, you're going to properly position yourself to have the understanding, the vocabulary, and to know how to demand your price. And everyone is not for you. We have to understand that. One of the things in business is that we try to tend and cater to everyone. Who is your prospective client that you're looking for? Perception. So you don't want to have this. Don't try to stop. Stop trying to be a great public speaker. When I compare myself, they have a saying, comparison is the thief of joy. When I compare myself to a Myron Golden or Les Brown or Kendall C. Wright or some of these dynamic speakers that I've been able to meet in person and to be able to watch from afar, to be able to meet from in person and to see from afar, then I'm like, man, my speaking skills are just little to none. Man, I feel like I have a long way to go. But then there's other individuals that see me and they like, man, you over here killing it. When you step up on the stage, you're doing your thing. So like, don't compare yourself to no one, and you don't have to try to be the best great speaker. You just try to work on things incrementally, one piece at a time. The second principle is perfection. Listen, when you make a mistake, no one cares but you. A lot of times when you out here speaking and you make a pause or you make a mistake or you accidentally fumble in your words, guess what? The audience, they didn't even pick it up. It was you. And then so if you go about beating yourself up through the rest of your talk, that is going to convey out. Laugh at it. Laugh at yourself sometimes. This is what I've seen the great motivator Les Brown do. It's times when he would be laughing during his speech, and it lightens the crowd up. It lightens him up. It takes the pressure off. That's why you see people when they first start their speech, they throw out a joke sometimes. It sets the mood. All right, so you're going to make mistakes. Even to this day, I've been speaking for 17 years now. All right, in churches, in food pantries, and on the streets. I've been in all drug rehabilitation, correctional facilities, whatever I've spoken all kind of places, right? I still make mistakes. I still make mistakes on some of these Zoom meetings. That's why I go back and listen to these messages from the mentorship. That's why I go back and listen to my messages I put on YouTube. I get to hear the mistakes that I made in certain verbiage, certain terms of words. But in the midst, guess what? I'm not afraid of making the mistake. It's okay. I'll go back and listen to it, and I will come back and try to do better. And if you like my services, you will hire me to come back and speak again. Number one is your perception. Make sure your perception is right when you are grabbing the microphone when you want to do this. Number two, make sure that perfection is something that you want to kind of move away out of your thought process. You're not going to deliver a perfect speech. You may not never deliver one. All right, because there might be times at the end of you talking, and don't get enamored and say that I'm not speaking in front of 20,000 people. Or listen, you have to be faithful over the few things before you can be made ruler over many. So your crowd at first, your audience may be 5 or 10 people. You might have to show that you could deal with 5 or 10 people before you can get 50. And now the doors are opening up for you, and more people want to hear you speak. And then at 50, now 100 people want to hear you. And now you're getting called for someone out of town. And now they want you to fly and speak to their congregation or speak to their business group. Next month, I was just telling Adriel, for those of you that's on the line, I think I'm going to be seeing Elkanah down there as well. Next month, I'm going to a group where it's going to be a couple hundred people there, down there in Baltimore, Maryland. And so this is going to be a group with hundreds of people, adults and children. So the people there, they have opened up opportunity for me to share some things with them. And it's not going to be, I might not be speaking on the dynamics of business and things of that nature, but it's an opportunity to speak in front of a couple hundred people. And you never know when the people that's at that event and at that group, they see you and they say, listen, we have something else going on over here in March or April. We want you to come speak at that. So like, you just have to do the work. Don't worry about being perfective. You're going to make mistakes. Number 3 is visualization. We need you all. Wayne talked about this earlier, how he starts off his day with meditation. You have to visualize that when you are, and I know that word might be a little spooky to some people in their belief. They say, oh man, we're not supposed to be doing visualization. You're not supposed to, try to visualize you having a positive outcome. Some of the most successful people in the world, they visualize the outcome that they expect to have before they step on the stage, before they step out on the basketball court, before they do anything. They get into a place and they put themselves in an environment so when they actually step on the stage, they have already been there before. That's why you have a speaking engagements. They recommend, they're very highly successful speakers will tell you, go out to the stage when nobody's there. When it's an empty crowd, when no one can see you, go out to the stage and visualize. Even if you're talking to a bunch of empty chairs, get the feeling, knock it out first. So when you come back out there later on that day or come out there tomorrow, you've already done it before. This is the reason why it's so easy for you all to talk to family members and friends when you go around for gatherings and for groups and things of that nature, is the fact that you already are comfortable being there. You're comfortable speaking to these individuals. Little did you all know, when you all, for those of you that was going and celebrating holidays over the years and birthdays over the years, when you got around your family and start talking to those 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 people, you were engaging in public speaking right there. You just didn't know it. That was a public speaking moment right there. But guess what happened? You were so comfortable that you didn't look at it as public speaking. So one of the things that you want to do is set your environment so that you can be comfortable, so that when you step in the midst of them, you can share your message. All right. Number 4 is discipline. Practice makes, how many people heard practice makes perfect? Well, right here it says practice makes good. You're going to get better from practice. And one of the biggest mistakes that speakers make is that they do not practice before they step up to the microphone. Some individuals, they say that they want to wing it. This is another reason why you could be successful in speaking and in sales. If you're in sales, you want to practice the script that your company has given you, or practice a script that you have come up with yourself, or go over things that have worked and have not worked. You have to do that in the art of speaking as well. So practice. This is one of the major speakers' main downfall right here, is the lack of practice. I'm just going to wing it because I've been doing this all this time. Number 5 is description. The 5th principle that this book talks about is description. Make it personal by becoming a storyteller. Listen here, if you can master the art of telling stories, if you can master the art of telling stories, you're going to be on a whole different level. This is what causes people to want you to come back again. When you can create scenarios in their mind, when you can paint a picture in their brain with an invisible brush, and you can tell those stories, and you can bring them back in to real life situations. Even in the world of sales, every now and then you have to tell stories and then bring people back in. The art of storytelling. Storytelling is key. I think it's something that we can all work on our downtime. Is what are these stories that we're going to be able to tell? The young generation, they don't just want to hear us running our mouth. This is a problem that some of the elder people have, is that they think that they can continue to speak to the young people as if this is 1999 or it's the early 2000s. Listen, TikTok and Instagram has destroyed that now. They're understanding if you don't reach them right away, you done lost them. And so you have to tell them stories from the beginning. You have to make your speech interesting to them, or they're going to grab their phone and they're going to scroll right past you, and they're not even going to be paying attention to you no more. You have to become a great storyteller. Inspiration, number 6. Through your message, through your talk, through your sales is very key if you can inspire people to serve. You want to inspire individuals to service the community, help service what you're doing, because it's very key in the art of speaking and the dynamics of speaking and sales. Number 7, anticipation. This is where a lot of speakers go wrong at right here, is that you want to leave your crowd, you want to give them just enough information to make them want more of you. This is a problem that a lot of preachers make the mistake of. A lot of pastors, they make the mistake of trying to share everything. I've done this before myself, trying to give information overload. A lot of times they're not even giving information overload because they really only share 1 or 2 scriptures. After that, they're doing a motivational talk. But when you try to pour so much information into a person at one time, they don't never want to hear you again. But if you give them 30 to 40 minutes, sometimes it can be shorter than that, they will beg you to come back. And that's the way you want your message to be when you are speaking to some individuals. You want to make sure that you give them just enough information that they can say, is that it? We wanted some more. You want to leave them on the edge of their seat.